you back to the matters of developing bitumen or facilitating investors to explore the state's deposits of bitumen for local use and export purposes. We know that across the country, like you rightly said, governors are not in charge, but then these natural resources are across every state as it is in Nigeria. But then we have seen that this same blessing is seemingly a curse for some of these states where, for instance, Zamfara State, this has become the source of conflict in that state. We saw in Plateau State as well that there were some issues around the discoveries of some mineral resources as well. My question is how he will ensure that he approached this differently in such a way that it becomes a blessing for the people and not a curse.
Yeah, you know, when you talk about bitumen being a curse, there's also the ecological impact of bitumen just being there around where people live, and you know, we don't understand whatever, you know, carcinogenic or whatever effect of the hydrocarbon that they live on, right? So definitely there is a need to manage this efficiently. We have a blessing in Ondo State that Ondo State people are generally very peaceful. This is about the most peaceful state in Nigeria, just the nature. So there is currently no real, you know, riots. But the most important thing is also the way by which you manage it, whereby you don't overly displace the people, because that would also be a problem, and ensure that there's probity in the management. And that's part of what he spoke about, the transparency. When there's probity in the management of these resources, when they start getting tapped, that's the people, there will be a lot of ecosystem around it. There will be a lot of development around it. And, you know, so we are not going to have this issue of it falling into conflict. And especially, like I always say, when you educate your children and people are focused and they are gainfully engaged, they will have less time for crime and all these things that we're talking about. So it is going to be an holistic measure. We also have, you know, the issue of, you know, order, security, and you know, rule of law that is also working on. We have the Amotekun, which the former governor Rotimi Akeredolu championed, and he has also expanded, and you know, we are still also working with the constitutional amendments in the House to, you know, give them more powers. So definitely, once these things are done, the governor will have more impact, and there will be a lot more security. When there is no sins, Lutio Sophie concession right, when there's no law, there's no sin. So definitely, we have the law. We are going to enforce it in Ondo State, and Governor Aiyedatiwa is a very calm, good manager of people. People love him. So there's definitely going to be prosperity as regards this issue.
Just a few weeks ago, or a few days ago, the governors of the Southwest region came together, met in Lagos, under the chairmanship of Babajide Sanwo-Olu, you know, to look at how they can ensure the Southwest become a viable, or viable and enviable region among its committee. How do you think Ondo State can leverage this partnership, this relationship, you know, with its, colleagues in the Southwest, the governors? What are the areas and the challenges that you foresee that might impact on the resolutions they came up with?
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, Ondo State shares a border with Ogun State, shares a border with Osun State, shares a border with Ekiti State. Ekiti State was actually part of Ondo State until '96. So part of the governor's agenda is also the sustainable infrastructure and tourism. We all know that thanks to President Bola Tinubu, we are going to be having this coastal highway, which reminds me of I-95 on the eastern coast of the United States, that will run from Lagos all the way to Calabar. If you look at it, just go on your Google map, you can measure the distance from where we are seated right now. Araromi Beach, which was one of the places that we went on Saturday during this inauguration period, is just about 120 kilometers from here, where we're seated right now. That means at 120 kilometers per hour speed, you can get there in 1 hour. At 100 kilometers per hour speed, you get in less than 1 hour, 15 minutes, right? That is to say, and you know that is longer than you spend on a traffic, on a busy day, just to get to Ajah or even Chevron. So you understand that once these roads get completed, that means you can be living in Ondo State and working here in, Eco Atlantic, or going to maybe Lekki Free Trade Zone and all. So the contiguous spread of prosperity, we know all the money is in Lagos, but the contiguous spread of prosperity along that corridor is definitely one of the things that the government is already trying to work on in terms of the infrastructure, opening up that place. The new real estate coming there. Like I'll tell all Nigerians right now that the smart money is in Ondo State. So if you are thinking about the future, if you want to really make money, you should bring your money to Ondo State. Because the government is going to give you the infrastructure that you need so that you can develop those real estates, those equipment. There's going to be the the deep sea ports also that he has started working on.
The deep sea ports, yeah.
So that is why I'm saying the smart money is in Ondo State. All Nigerians, everybody in the world, if you're in the diaspora and you have money to invest, you should know where to bring it to, because that is going to be the first. Ogun State might have intervened a little bit between Ondo State and Lagos State, but they don't have a lot of real estate. It's just a very tiny sliver of land. Ondo State is the longest continuous seashore line in Nigeria. So that means you can have a strip.
But we see what climate change is doing to that seashore line. It's a major challenge.
You're right, around the Ayetoro, what's it called? That's part of what, the Governor Aiyetidawa and President Tinubu are already working on to, reverse this ecological disaster and turn it to a prosperity. Just like what we are seated here right now. This used to be a disaster. This place that we are right now. Now, a prosperity has been built across it. And that is what Governor Aiyetidawa is doing. And if you look at it, he said sustainable infrastructure. Sustainability of those infrastructure means that you are going to do it in such a way that you don't displace the people. You don't chase them out of their town, out of their home city. You build the economy around them, whereby they are partakers and facilitators of this new economy that you are building in this reclaimed land and these things. So yeah, these are the things that this man is doing.
Interesting.